I think one of the main things that separates us is that all orders on food cloud are a la carte, where other people who are basically offering a set meal, like from homes of India. So I think that the wastage is lesser, the experience is better, and I think that's what distinguishes us.
And what about processes and so on? Housewives go on vacations. How do you take care of that? Great dahi pakodi which one housewife makes, and
So
how do you
obviously, like for
configure
us,
that?
like customer service is really important. We have a proper operations team in place, which is just basically managing our chef community. We keep track of where everybody is, what they can do. All our chefs also have different timings in terms of whether they need 15 like 2 hours to accept the food, 24 hours. There are some chefs who say we need up to 72 hours to accept an order. So our team is very well versed with these chefs. And we have, we're able to create backups. Obviously, there are some foods which are extremely gourmet, which, like say for example, there's a Goan lady who makes amazing like Goan chicken curry, which, only she makes. So if she's not available to do it, then, it might not be available. But for most other things, we do have backups in place.
Okay. A question to both of you. In the food business, there are lots of regulatory issues. All right. There could be customer liability issues as well, right? So how do you protect yourself against, potential liabilities that may arise and compliances? So maybe one of you can talk about liability, one of you can talk about compliance.
I'll talk about the compliance part of it because generally in the meat, when you go in an Indian meat market, it could be any butcher sitting there and cutting chicken or mutton and then just giving it this thing. So we try to get on-board vendors who are already certified or who are willing to go through the certification process and then come on board with us. We do not take unless the food grade licenses are in place. So there is already a little guarantee of quality that is going on in there. And we do also have one person exclusively for checking only the quality of meats from the different outlets that go in. So the only job that he actually does is to supervise on quality of meat every day. And in case by evening, if we are running out of certain item, we do not try to procure it from here and there and just not to lose a customer, but I do pick up the phone most of the time personally and call up the customer and say that this is not fresh and or we have run out of it. So is it okay? Then I can give it to you tomorrow. Otherwise, I'm sorry, because if the quality is compromised, then I have an issue with that.
Okay, so through a certification and a QC process, you do that. Yeah, compliances.
So actually, I kind of agree.
Sorry, liabilities.
Liabilities. I kind of agree with what she said right now because that's pretty much the process that we follow as well, as far as the compliances are concerned. And we also have like quality checks, ad hoc quality checks happening in the chef's kitchens. But as far as liability are concerned, like our chefs are educated properly. Like before they join our platform, there's a proper process that we go through with them when we explain the liability to them. The liability in a sense lies on them because the food is essentially picked up from their homes and sent to the customer's home directly. Like we are not involved, like the food is not coming to our...
So I think you should look into it.
Sure.
Because, as a platform, you have liabilities.
Sure.
Suppose there is food poisoning that happens,
Sure.
whatever may be the reason,
Sure.
a cockroach drops in,
Sure.
whatever.
Sure.
Because that can happen in an uncontrolled
Sure.
kitchen
Sure.
environment.
Sure.
Right? And therefore, the guy would say that he has placed the order on you.
Yeah.
So perhaps you should look at taking insurance or...
No, we do that. Like we do have, like the contractual agreement that we sign with the chefs requires them to, take all liabilities regarding hygiene and things like that.
Yeah. So you may have an agreement with
Yeah.
the supplier, but you yourself need to protect your business
Sure.
as well
Sure.
against liabilities.
Sure.
Perhaps consult a lawyer
Yeah.
after that and
Sure.
check how you should do
Definitely.
that with your business. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Sure. Okay.
Yeah, I think Uber is a very good example where
Yeah.
they have these agreements with the drivers, but ultimately the brand that got spoiled was Uber. The liability came on them, so you should look at that. Okay, let's talk about money. All right. Uh, Most important thing for an entrepreneur, right? That ultimately you need the juice to keep your company running.
That's a driving force, I would say.
Exactly. So, my question to you, how did you raise the initial capital? What's been the source of growth capital? Are you externally funded?
No, I'm not externally funded. I don't believe in external funding because because my kind of job is like it needs lot of peace of mind and lot of attention because it is all design driven. It's all artistic. So when working on an artistic platform, one has to have a free mind and a free spirit. So that's how I work on. And with no external funding, no funding from my family, I raised this business on my own. That's why I said that it's my baby. So my baby, it was small, and of course I took very good care of it. I put in all my hard work, all my money I ever had, and that's how I've grown it from one small business, from one, if I tell you, like, the first project that I got, like, way back, like, I got my first check for 10,000 rupees, is from where I opened my first, current account for my company, and I was so happy, and I still have my first debit card with me, though, like, I don't use that account anymore. I still have it, and I still cherish it, because that's how I raised fund for my own firm. And, from day by day, of course, everyone goes through that, time, whereas, like, you have sleepless nights and something, but they're a part and parcel of business, because otherwise, what kind of entrepreneur are you if you can't take the stress? You become an entrepreneur when you start dealing with stress and still start performing, is what that I still do. Even today as well, we are delivering projects all over India and of course in Southeast Asia, in Sri Lanka. So they are stressed, because there's a lot of back and forth in my business. It's not because every time you show a presentation to a client, it says what's next. So what's next means that again, we have question marks in our mind that what's next, what to show him now, because what we are waiting on the other hand is a check that has to come across the table. So every time, but we have to put in our effort. So yes, funding has always been, a process which has come from one project to another project, and that's what I keep doing. I do business development of my firm myself, and of course I have a business development team as well. But still, somewhere down the lines, as I said earlier, I give personal attention to everything that I do, because I felt like you have a very good team, but they speak from mouth. I speak from stomach. So that's how it works. When I speak from stomach, it works very well.
That's really wonderful. You said, a round of applause for Tipsy for that. So yours is a bootstrap business, all right? So yeah, you still remember that first 10,000 rupee check. Also share your story when you got that first big order, and then you knew that you made it.
My first big order was a timeshare property I got. I joined one of my friends. She works for Amex now. She works as a head for Amex for travel, for global business travel. She asked me to join her for a vacation to Goa. I said, how much will it cost? She told me it cost 14,000 rupees, and we stay in a 5-star hotel for 3 days. It's a conference we are going to be a part of, but we are not going to attend the conference. I said, but what kind of conference is it? She said, it's a conference for RCI. So RCI is like Residential Condominiums International something. I said, okay, fine. She said, do carry your business card. I said, okay, perfect. I told my husband I'm going on a business trip. I'm going on a business trip with my friend, and I just wanted a break. The moment I entered Goa, and the moment I landed in the hotel property, I realized that I am not here for a vacation. I'm here for business. Because that's when I just, I got through, the moment you enter the room, you get a whole catalog of RCI explaining the concept of timeshare and what it is. So I told my friend, you go and have fun of life. Let me be here for 3 days. And that's where I knocked it. And I knew that if I give a presentation in RCI, even if I get 3 minutes of my time and tell the people around here that, okay, I am also here, so hear me out. And give me a chance and let me try. And as I was always used to of giving presentations for free when I started, I thought, let me do it once again. And see it how I go. And that's what I did. I got a project from Singapore. There's a company called RSP. It's an architecture company from Singapore, and they were here and in RCI and starting a timeshare property that's still coming up right now. Like it's a long project, so it's the biggest timeshare property coming up in India, and I won that project. And I won that project over a free presentation. So, so I still believe that even now, like today, I'm telling it to you, before coming here, I told one of my designers to make a free presentation for another brand I know. Because, when you put in your 100% effort without looking for, without looking for an incentive or without looking for any kind of, result orientation to it, you do it because not everything has to be result oriented. Sometimes you just do it and you just crack it.
So great. An entrepreneur has to be 24/7, all right? Always there, looking after whatever business you are doing. Okay, so you talk from the stomach, you talk to the stomach, right? So what was your... I guess family would be the first source of money?
Yeah. So we were self-funded, like family funded for a while. We recently closed our first round of funding, which is an angel round. We're just about signing all the papers, for it. But yeah, so initially we were family funded. Yes.
Okay, so why did you not decide to bootstrap but go in for external funding?
We've actually been around for 2 years now. We are doing, a decent number of orders. We kind of now need some more money to move to other cities. We are looking at expanding operations to Calcutta and to Bangalore. We have got a lot of interest from home chefs in these cities, who want our services there. So to expand our operations, we were looking for some funding.
And what sort of funding are you raising, and from whom have you raised the funding?
I'm not allowed to disclose that yet.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
No, that's all
yeah,
right.
Sure.
What about you? What was your...
We basically, so far, even till date, it is being self-funded by myself and my co-founder. We are looking at investors. Initially, for 6 months, we were not looking at it. We did a soft launch in December, actually. And we were waiting for us to get at least a hang of it and get to a particular this thing. But now we started with the tech zone of Hyderabad. And I have 2,000 unique customers as of today. From December to now, this thing. And I've got 3 more vendors, certified vendors on board. We also have 1 more vendor coming on board who is into wholesale, but would be entering into the retail e-commerce platform through us. So.
And you are cash positive now?
Oh, no. Okay, can we please not discuss the...
No, I mean, I'm working towards... When is the right time to raise money? Is there a right time? So we have an example of bootstrapping. We have a term sheet already sort of on the verge of signing and so on. So I'm essentially, building up different scenarios for the audience here.
So you want to know what I have put in so far, or?
No. I'm saying, are you cash positive now?
Yes, we have not yet broken even, if that's what you're asking, but we are close to break even. But we are also in the verge where we really need to take it to the other parts. Because I do have an app and it does keep getting orders from all over the place, but I do not have the capability of still going so far, because you should always service only within 5 to 7 kilometers of your outlets, because it's fresh meat.
Right.
We do have a lot of people wanting to come on board. We have a lot of talks from a lot of this thing, but we want to get into a round of funding and then only take it to the other areas.
Okay. So your growth capital that you will look at is so that you can have multiple delivery centers, or you can go to multiple geographies.
Yes.
Because otherwise, in a single center, you are heading towards becoming
I do currently
cash.
operate from 4 different centers, 4 to 5 different centers, and just within a 10-kilometer vicinity or a 12-kilometer vicinity area, I do have 2,000 customers. So yes, I really need to extend it fast.
So thank you, Madhu. But Sanji, is it, some people raise money because it's available and it gives you market cap.
Sure.
It gives you that visibility which comes out of a high market cap.
Sure.
So is that one of the drivers?
Not really. I think that we haven't raised money. Like there has been a lot of money, like you said earlier, in the food tech business. At least there was about a year and a half ago. We didn't raise money at that point of time because we didn't think that we needed it. I think that with external money comes a lot of external pressure, which we weren't necessarily sure if we should handle at that point of time. We were trying to build a model which we had confidence in, and once we have confidence in that model, we could think about taking money from someone else.
Okay, but sign the term sheet fast, because money is right now drying up. Okay, it's cyclical, these things keep on happening. All right. Open to the audience. Questions from you, please.
What is more important, finances or the marketing? You may have the finances, but you do not. You have the product, you have the finances, or you can raise the finances. But if there's no marketing, if there's no scope of selling it, do you think it'll work?
If you have the finances, you will definitely do the marketing. Because where will you use the finances for? First thing is, you use your finances to grow your business. To grow your business.
Don't you think if you had the market and this is what this market I can tap and this is what they want, then you can arrange finances? Wouldn't it be the reverse?
If you tap the market first and then you try to arrange for the finances, you're going the other way around. It will be a very long process. No, it should be the other way around. You have to have the finances first, and then you tap the market.
A lot of companies who have money, but they do not know where to sell and how to sell.
Both go hand in hand.
Of course, they go hand in hand.
Okay, so you can't sort of go about establishing a market with no money. All right. And if you have money and no business plan, then also you cannot move.
Correct.
So everything has to go it's a strategy that you develop, in which money will be one part of it, team would be another part of it, outreach would be another part of it, technology would be yet another part of it, because today technology is playing a very, very important role in any kind of a business. So you have to look at the as the Germans call it, the Gestalt. You have to look at the complete thing, and you cannot just say that it's like a body. What's more important, arm or a leg?
What I'm trying to say is, I know it's a whole picture. There are different sections. It's like a pizza, so you have different sections there. But my point is, whenever you talk to an entrepreneur, a startup or something, they always come up with, what's your pain area? Finances are my pain area. I feel marketing should be the pain area. You look for a market, create a market, and then finances can always be arranged. Finances is like, it's not
last 2 years, money was easy.
Yeah.
Okay. But still there are entrepreneurs who have failed in that easy money market. So I remember, I've seen number of cycles. You may recall the .com cycle in 99, 2000, everybody, pigscanfly.com or whatever, here is $1 million, I'll make the pigs fly, right? So where are all those businesses? But in that entire turmoil is the fact that companies like Make My Trip and Naukri and so on got created out of that entire thing. Okay, so out of 1,000 businesses that start, only 10 will become big. You know, when the e-commerce boom happened, how many companies went into e-commerce? Again, there would be hundreds of people who went in for e-commerce. Snapdeal and Flipkart are the two who have really made it.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it is money, it is team, it is how you market the entire thing. That is what is required to somebody who keeps on saying I don't have the money and that's why I cannot be successful. I think they haven't understood entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Because I do give the session on the plunge of people to start up. So there is in Bangalore I do. So first thing I agree with her, because first thing you test yourself, because one thing what I have noticed, I think so you must have noticed, lot of people they says okay, I'm not liking my job, let me start the new. They have to identify what they want. So a lot of people are either unemployment or not happy, they think okay, I'll start my own. So what I have been telling, at least in plunge workshop I do, where okay, you take maybe 1 month or 2 months break and try to understand what you want to do and see the market, is it worthwhile or not. So I will still say the marketing will come first to at least know you will survive, and then you can try to see whatever the bootstrap or family or whoever do fund it, because at least in Bangalore there is more service oriented side. So service, you don't need a lot of banking or the finance more. You need your intellectual and knowledge part much more. So I wanted to tell that when at least I do the workshop, I say the first has to be market.
Other questions?
I would like to add to that. I'm a publisher, and I've been in journalism for the last 20 years. And one thing I have noticed is that there's this whole thing called notional, entrepreneur, notional revenue, notional turnover, where you have rupee from my pocket. So what is that? That means you need to first be confident of your product, conceive your product in such a way that you know that it's a success, because there is a supply and there is a demand. You need to just bridge that gap. Now the customer is not going to come and tell you, hey, this is the kind of product I want, these are the specs, this is the blueprint. This is something that you have to ask yourself intuitively and get that product out and then give it in the market. And then the hard work, of course, you have to believe in yourself, and then the hard work will follow. And when that happened, I broke even from the first issue, and now it's my 4th year, and I run a monthly magazine for my neighborhood to better my neighborhood, to influence the politicians in my neighborhood and make things happen. And I bridge the commercial and the residential through these different commercial options available and through all the civic news that we do in the area. So not only am I breaking even and making a profit on the publication, but most importantly, I am being the voice of the people and making sure that my neighborhood is also better in the same way. So the point here is, if you know the product really well, you can break even from your first day. You don't really need extensive rounds of funding. Now, where do you need the rounds of funding is when you want to expand. So when it's scalability, then you need to expand. And that will automatically happen, because once you have a successful product to show, then things will just fall in place. But you need to first come up with that pilot project and make it work. Thank you.
Okay. By the way, see, entrepreneurship is an area where very few rules apply. Okay, so I can actually name at least 10 businesses where break even from day one would never have worked. All right, because what you are chasing is completely different. Right? Take Women Economic Forum. Did they make money in Goa? They did not. They have started a movement. Okay, so the measures for different kind of businesses may be different. Would they make money this year? Probably not. Okay, perhaps they would make it in the 5th year. Right? If that happened, that does not mean that it is not viable. Right? If a movement has to be created, so there are number of examples I can give where, a search engine, if there is a blue ocean kind of technology that comes up, needs support. Otherwise it will never succeed. Okay, so entrepreneurship is all about, there is no book called Entrepreneurship for Dummies, right? Because there are no set rules. When I started the B2B publications, DataQuest, PCQuest, DataQuest was the first publication that was started. People called me a fool in 1982. At that time, the total installed base of computers in this country was 10,000. Okay. They said there's a total market of 10,000. India was a country at that time where magazines on children had not worked. Magazines on, the only magazines that had worked were either political or films, okay, or women. These are the only 3 categories that used to do well. I am talking about 80s. That is the time when India Today also, business magazine started coming up. Business India came around that time. Okay, and you are starting a magazine on, a B2B publication. You are a fool. All right.
Okay. First of all 3 of you, very proud of you, and you're really gutsy women. So,
that was supposed to be my closing statement.
Okay. For you two, I have a question. Call it, whatever. In the online space particularly, and the kind of stuff that you're doing, somebody is doing well, it's not that difficult to sort of replicate that. How are you building, because you operate in, again, a certain territory, you operate in a certain 5-10 kilometer territory. What stops somebody else from taking another territory and doing exactly what you're doing? Modeling themselves on you because they know you have 2,000 customers, so easy. How are you building walls around your business model, so that you continue to maintain your first mover advantage, so to speak? I don't know if you're the first movers, but I'm assuming you are, irrespective. How do you build walls so that you can continue in this game forward, Because it's very nice to have an idea, it's nice to do well initially, and you forget that you need to be prepared for competition.
Exactly. I do agree with you, and there would be competition. I'm not saying that there will never be any competition at all, because even if you see the biggest companies do have their competition, but they create a niche for themselves, and that is what I'm trying to do, is to create a niche for my product, and my niche would be the SOPs that we have created to put in place, and also onboarding of vendors which are certified, because when we talk about meat, there have been 1 or 2 who have come up with the same concept, like have a mobile app or whatever. But how certified is your meat? Is your chicken antibiotic free? Is it halal or kosher? What do we call it? So I am taking care of the small things, and how safe is my packing? What is my processing time? And I'm also letting the vendor know, letting the customer know from which vendor, when they order, from which vendor are they getting the meat from. So it could be like a single vendor can start for himself, but he will not be able to sustain for a long time on the same platform, because it would be just one vendor going through a different area. But I just here I've got on board a lot of vendors who have already following SOP, who have their certifications and safeties in place, and I am creating a better space by adding my own USP into it. So it would take a lot for a competition to come in. I'm not saying that I'm a space where competition cannot enter in. That would be really definitely foolish of me. Yes, there would be a competition that can come in, but by then I have my own niche.
I think for us, we're very well aware of the point that you raised. It's something that we've discussed in detail. And I think we may have been, contemporaries of other food tech startup or competitors, but we definitely, like when we started operations, but we're definitely not we're not contemporaries of them when it comes to funding. A lot of guys are making money, they've gone bust. We have tried really hard to figure out what they did wrong. And we're actually, the way we look at it, the thing that we say to each other every day is, we have to be like Google. Like Google was not the first search engine, but they're definitely the last. That's kind of what we want to be. We want to make sure that our customer service is amazing, our operations, are seamless, and our technology is great. Like a lot of our success comes from the technology that we built for ourselves, for our operations and everything. So we are focusing on these things, and that's what we're trying to do basically.
So I'm glad you asked this question. It was all to do about survival strategies. So Tipsy, let me ask you, it is TA Interiors, Tipsy Anand Interiors, right? Designs. Okay. So what is there life for TAD despite TA?
Despite TA means?
You.
Of course, yes.
So how are you building up the team, and what's to ensure that the organization continues?
I have a new business plan. I am growing. I tell you, when it comes to designing, it's a diversified field. So since I have just been designing hotels and interiors right now, I have made it more personalized. Like I have designed homes for many big business people in India. So, I have designed it specifically, making it very very customer specific, like in terms of designing specific designs for fabrics, specific designs personalized for wallpapers, for other features like, upholstery, furniture, getting art pieces which are very, very specific, getting products from all over the globe, putting it together, to make it more personalized. At the same time, as I said, that every designer, or I would say every human being, has something that's called special which they can only do. Not everyone, no one can copy anyone. Even each one of us sitting in this room, we would have something which is different from one to another. So similarly, my team also has, all the people I have in my team, like I have 15 designers right now working with me, each one of them is different to each other. And I give each project a different styling from one to another. And I also give equal platform to all my designers as well. Despite that, I feel that competition is going to come in. But unless and until there is no competition, where is the fun? The fun lies in competition. That's what it is. Tomorrow, like my designer, she's going to start up her own firm, and I really want her to do that. Maybe she doesn't have that kind of persona where she can start a firm of her own. I tell her that okay, you can't start a firm, but you can start your own institute. You can teach people to design drawings, details. She said yes, because that is where life goes on. Because that's where you inspire others as well. And for me, taking my firm beyond Tipsy Anand, come on, who has seen tomorrow? No one has seen tomorrow. When someone dies, it goes off. It goes off with the wind. But yes, I definitely feel that that my design company is going to be taken forward. Maybe not by my son, maybe not by anyone in the family, but maybe by someone who really deserves to take it further. Maybe someone as my colleague, or maybe someone, because I call my employees as my colleagues. They're my friends. Like they have been working with me for 8 years. I also have employees with me, who were my subordinates when I was in the design firm. Now they work for me, and they don't work for me; they work with me. That's the whole idea.
Okay, wonderful. And may you live long.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Were you asking a question?
No, I think the time is over.
I just want to compliment the moderator.
Thank you.
Because my friend has already done this, because I think moderating is so important to get the best out of it.
Yeah.
And I thought that
Thank
was
you.
very
Thank you.
well done.
Thank you very much. One last question and a single line reply from each of you. Why is it that, and I'm talking about probably global statistics, that only 20% of entrepreneurs are women. And what can we do to set that right? One line answer.
Women should not treat their career or their business as a hobby. It should become their life sustainment.
Take it seriously.
Take it seriously.
Okay, what about you?
I think family and friends need to support it and take it seriously. You know, I mean, like without that, nobody can get
Need an ecosystem to
Need
support.
an ecosystem, yes.
I would say, stay happy, and you will flourish.
Wonderful. So now let me repeat, we are so proud of you and thank you. It's been, the three of you were absolutely.
Thanks a lot. Award ceremony is
wonderful.
still pending.
We do have an award ceremony. Please
Award ceremony is still pending, so kindly be seated. Panelists, I have one question. Being academician, I've been teaching in BBA and MBA students. Had a lot of subjects on the entrepreneurship. Had a lot of presentation, case studies, articles we discussed in classroom. But still, one question is still burning. That means entrepreneurs are born or made. I just want answer from each of you, please.
I think everybody has an entrepreneur in them, so they're born, but they need to be made. And we need to create it for ourselves.
Okay.
I think it's a talent that one is kind of born with. Yeah.
So,
No one learns it from the stomach. Trust me, no one. Entrepreneurs are made. No one learns it. You have to learn it on your own, and you make it. Like I made an entrepreneur in my firm 10 years down the line, and trust me, each one of us can be an entrepreneur. It's just that we just need to have that gut feel in us to do something.
final word, sir.
The DNA is there, you need to bring it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, sir.
I would request now Pradeep sir to felicitate Madhu ma'am as a league of iconic entrepreneurs.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, begin again.
I'm also
I would request now Pradeep sir to felicitate Sanji ma'am with League of Iconic Entrepreneurs.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Last but not the least, the iconic woman leader in innovation and entrepreneurship goes to Dipsy ma'am.
It's a pleasure. It's really a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you speakers, thank you panelists, and thank you audience for so being kind.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm